if the end of football season has you like college basketball, por favor, well, you've come to the right place. Mike joins me in studio to discuss the new AP poll, some peak performers of the season up to date, and of course, the bubble watch that's getting bouncier as we speak. Let's do it right now. Recording live from somewhere. This is One and Done.
Get out the insurance cards, get out the co-pays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
It's time once again for everybody to come aboard that One and Done train. Welcome to One and Done. Bienvenidos a todos a One and Done, your fast break of college basketball información. We are powered by the universe's greatest website, drroto.com. And we are also brought to you by our friends at BracketBids. More on that very soon. I am the conductor of the aforementioned One and Done train. My name is Jay Heinrich. Find me on X at Dr. William Cannon. I hit that follow back button. But my friends, the man, the myth, the legend, the OGest of the OGs, El Capitan himself, the captain of the One and Done ship, is here. He does the ship, I do the train. Find him on X at MC Holland 34. The OG Money Mike, Mr. Mike Holland. Mike, what it do?
What it do, man? How about North Carolina tonight? Pretty sad, but they're not really on the topic tonight, and I don't know that they're going to be talked about very much as we come down the stretch here of college basketball. I'm glad we're back to doing our recap type shows, man. We're going to be doing a lot more of these. Don't worry, we're still doing DFS. I think I'll be on live before lock tomorrow, so nice slate of games tomorrow. But we're here to just kind of talk about everything that's been going on. We're going to have probably a lot of new viewers that are popping in, and some people just wanting to find out what's going on in college hoops now that the old foosball is over. So looking forward to it tonight, man.
Mama said foosball's the devil. You know what is the devil? Not hitting those like and subscribe buttons right here on One and Done. So make sure you do that. Turn on the notification bells as well. And while you're hanging out with us, make sure you hop in that live chat. Can't wait to hear from our friends out in Big Blue Nation. We always love our Kentucky fans. All of our breadheads in the live chat, though. We can't wait to hear from you. And if you're watching later on, we would love to hear from you in the comments as well. Let us know what you're thinking about this season. Follow us at One and Done CBB on all the socials. WON, of course, is how we spell One and Done CBB. Right there, scrolling across the screen. Buttons being pushed tonight by our guy CC Hustle, the Hall of Famer himself, at The Real Napier. Chris pushing the buttons tonight. Good stuff there. And our guy at Fantasy Nav, somewhere hidden in a closet, playing hide and go seek. We love him anyway. At Fantasy Nav in those Twitter streets. Got some of these banners up for us tonight. We appreciate him for sure and always. So, Mike, let's get to it here. New AP poll drops. And even though, we saw a loss at home by the number one team in the country. What is that, LeBron gift? What do you guys oh no, who cares? They're still number one, as they should be, in my opinion. It was a tough one to Florida over the weekend. Only their second loss of the season and first in conference play. So first sort of mark there on their record in a long time. Now sets up a showdown with number 2 Alabama and Tuscaloosa on Saturday. Are we overlooking Vanderbilt, Mike? We're just jumping right to Alabama there, but understandably so. Number 1 and number 2 in the country on Saturday. Going to be an electric matchup. And did you have any doubt in your mind that they would remain number 1, Mike?
Yeah, I saw a lot of stuff on Twitter or X and all the socials saying that we're going to have a new number 1, but you look at their resume and it's why would there be a new number 1? It's their first loss in the toughest conference in the country. They have the number 1 strength of schedule. They've just done it all this year. To only have 2 losses at this point is quite an accomplishment. Number 1 offense in the country. Janai Broome is back and playing really well. They've got the whole package, obviously. Chad Baker-Mazar is playing great. Denver Jones is playing awesome. So, no, man, I didn't have any doubt here. And then Derby jumping in the comments. I don't know if we've seen Derby before. What's up, Derby? But saying, is Indiana really on the bubble with all those elite players? And yes, because the fit is not quite there, as we've talked about over the offseason. If you haven't caught all of our stuff that we do 365, man. We do a lot of off-season topics, transfer portal fits, coaching interviews, all that stuff, Derby. So go ahead and check that out. Go back and look in the archives for that type of stuff. But yeah, just we wondered how Indiana, Texas, and some other teams were going to make the puzzle pieces fit, even though they got some really good players in. So appreciate the question there, Derby. But yeah, Jay, I mean, I don't see Auburn in any kind of trouble right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost another 1 or 2 games. They're still going to end up with the number 1 seed just based on playing the toughest schedule in the country. So no worries here, man. I think they'll remain there, and I think they'll go to Alabama, man, and pick up a big one. So I can't wait to see that game on Saturday.
Well, every night we were looking at some of these schedules ahead of time, and like I was listening off Vanderbilt's next games, and it's Auburn, Tennessee, Kentucky, Ole Miss, A&M, Missouri, and Arkansas. Every night in the SEC is a quad 1 game. Like It just is. It's night in and night out. Can Auburn, find a way to navigate those waters in a very tough conference, a physical conference, on a night in and night out basis? We shall see. They sure do look strong though right now. Really liking what they're doing out there for sure. Thanks, Derby. I think we had heard from, I don't know, man. Derby, that feels like a name that I remember. But then again, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. So if you're be like Derby and hop in the live chat if you're hanging out with us. And, another way to be like us here on One and Done is to hang out with our new friends over at BracketBids, a new partner and a new way to do March. Download the BracketBids app or go to BracketBids.com and enter a free pick'em contest. If you just want to pick the games, that's cool. If you just want to do a bracket, find a way to do that, right? But listen, BracketBids is bringing a new way to approach March. It's like an auction fantasy draft, right? Where you spend up, try to outspend, outbid your opponents in the league to get the teams now in the madness of March that you think are going to go the farthest. So similar concept to that, choosing from multiple scoring models, upset bonuses. We all like to be rewarded for calling out those big upsets in March for sure. And you can do that. You can follow your team and your standings in real time in the BracketBids app or at BracketBids.com. User-friendly. It's a fun thing to do. Trying something new in March. We all love the paper brackets. I'm going to fill out a bunch of them, and it'll probably say Arizona in the championship line for the 3rd straight year because I can't quit them. I mean, they're playing really well right now. But listen, BracketBids.com or the BracketBids app, and what you want to do is when you get over there and you activate your league, you want to put in the promo code BREAD, B-R-E-A-D, because, we get this bread around here. Put in that promo code BREAD for 40% off of your league activation fees. Download the BracketBids app today or visit BracketBids.com and upgrade your March. Thanks to our friends at BracketBids. Show us some love by taking a visit over there on their website or downloading their app and using that promo code BREAD.
Do it.
Do it. Derby
do like
saying
Derby,
he used BracketBids for his brackets this year. Let's go, Derby. That's what we like to see. Course tomorrow, fellas. Cam, Mike's gonna go. We're gonna LBL tomorrow, right, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So have those bells on around 4:15, 4:30 ish. Make sure you're by your viewing device. Central Time. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, of course. 5:15, 5:30 Eastern Time. And if you're out there in California, take a late lunch and watch my guy Mike go live before lock. Why not? I mean. What else are you going to be doing?
There he is.
Let's go. There he is. Peanut Butter Posse. Auburn about to lose a few. I don't know, man. I mean, even if they do, it's okay. It's a grind right now. How many are Kentucky going to win out of the remaining games, Peanut Butter Posse? Let us know in the chat. We want to hear from you. Let's move on to St. John's, surging up to number 9 in the AP poll. Mike, winners of 10 straight. The Johnnies are back. And no better way to announce fully that you are back than beating UConn on the road after taking care of Marquette. So a couple of nice wins there for the Johnnies.
That's nice.
And, you talk about a core, Cam, in the live chat. St. John's core 4 is about as good as anybody in the entire country. They've only lost 3 games this year. You can count on one hand how many points total they've lost those games by. It's this many. It's 5. Okay, Mike, what's the ceiling for St. John's this year?
Oh man, I'm all over the place, right? You've got that core four that, I mean, you can put them up against any other team in the country. Their top four players, and it's going to be tough not to pick St. John's. They're number 2 in defensive efficiency now. So, Coach Patino, man, just you got Kadari Richmond locking people down. RG Lewis has great length and size. You got Ejiofor in the middle, man, blocking shots. So. Aaron Scott has been just like an unsung hero for them, man. He's been so good for them. But my problem is that they can't shoot threes. Like they are just so terrible from beyond the arc. It's I don't know, man. Like, can you win 6 games without having some type of pulse from behind the arc, man? It just I don't know. And look, I love what they're doing. I love the players. I do love the roster. I think they will shoot it better with Smith and Aaron Scott can get it going a little bit. Kadari's got to just take smart chances when he's shooting from outside. So the thing is, like, the Big East is not. I mean, this isn't last year. This isn't years past. It feels like one of those kind of down years where really it was 4 or 5 teams. And we talked about UConn beginning of the year. I mean, I wasn't that high on them this year, and yeah, it's not surprising to see St. John's up at the top of the Big East. So, yeah, I mean, I would say the one thing that's going to hold them back, and I want to hear from the chat, and hopefully Johnny K will pop in here, man. Let us know what he thinks just about that outside shooting, because any of those teams, Jay, that just can't, one game sample size 6 times in a row, and you're not able to hit the 3 ball. It's like Texas A&M. Like, they basically have the same team. They're going to out rebound you. They're going to play great defense. Pretty similar, right? But then they shoot 30% from 3. So it's like, unless that defense is just locked in, man, for St. John's, like there are some flaws with this team, but it's hard to argue with the talent. So yeah, I'm a little bullish on their march. I think they are a second weekend team, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody picks them off in the 3rd or 4th round. Obviously,
Is there a team right now that sort of has that ensemble cast where it just hasn't totally clicked yet, but they have that ability to sort of find a way to do it within the next month? Like, is there a team that can still do it this late in the season, or are we too far past like a Texas being able to find a way to mesh, or a team like that? Like, is it just over with? Like, are some of these teams just is it past the point of no return?
I wouldn't say that, right? Because it's all about getting hot at the right time. I mean, kind of look at Clemson. Like, nobody thought Clemson, NC State, nobody thought that they would do what they did. So, yeah, could we see someone absolutely get hot and just turn it on? 100%. But how often does that happen? You might get one team that's able to do that. And then you just hope you don't run into the 1 or 2 mid majors in the bracket that end up having a hot day and get the crowd behind them and all that stuff. So yeah, man. Chat going off here. So Cam's saying he's gonna blast me over the phone in his office. That's
Oh boy.
I don't think your phone wants to hear my voice or your
dulcet
office want to hear.
tones.
That's pretty terrifying.
Ryan up and in there. Well, then Mizzou fell from 15 to 21 and lost to Tennessee on the road by 4. And then the Aggies on a buzzer beater. Yeah, you lose a couple of games any week, you're going to drop. But I think that the fact that they stayed in the top 25 speaks a lot to those losses for sure. Ryan, it's good to hear from you as always. Peanut Butter Posse saying they're going to win 6 of 8. All right, so that means they're going to beat a team that's currently in the top 5 right now. I love to hear. I love it. I love the confidence from Peanut Butter Posse. I love it. I mean, okay. So what do we got? We got Tennessee tomorrow. Probably beat Texas on the road. Got Vanderbilt, that's tough. Alabama on the road. Oklahoma on the road is all right. Auburn at home. LSU at home. And then on the road at Missouri. My friend, that's easier than some. I'll give you that. That's an easier route than some. That's easier than Vandy's last few games right there. But, man, 6 out of 8, I can see it happening. Good stuff there. Yeah. UCLA, NC State, FAU, San Diego State. UConn did lose 6 out of 8 in February. Hey, listen, it's again that's to Mike's point though. Who's going to get hot? Who's going to get hot at the right time? Who got hot the year that Kemba Walker won him himself a ring? Like get hot in the Big East championship tournament and then just go on a run. And like anybody can do it, right? And these teams are so talented, but you got to get there. And there's teams that are not playing very well right now that have amassed this talent. And one team that has actually bounced back a little bit is Kentucky. And, I mean, a big part of that, obviously, is Lamont Butler returning, the guy that we maybe didn't give as much credit to in terms of being their floor general and just being the guy that was going to play that point guard role that they needed. And he's done it, every bit of it, and then some. And when he was off the floor, it showed. But gave him a huge spark this week as they dispatched South Carolina by 23 points there. So 1-4 previous in their previous 5. So Mike, they're just different with him on both ends. He's so important to that team. He's the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we just ran through the schedule a little bit ago. Tennessee up next tomorrow. Every night is tough in the SEC. What do you think the Wildcats have to do to keep this thing going?
They got to defend. I mean, how are they 351st in opponent turnover percentage? I don't understand. I've been banging the drum for this defense for months, and it's just not there. We saw a glimpse of it, right? But it's South Carolina, which, if you're going to pick one team from the SEC, right, that's not really doing much right now, it is South Carolina. So I need to see the defense against some of these other teams that they were just giving it up to. I mean, Kentucky's they're a great 3-point shooting team. They're 7th in strength of schedule. So they played a bunch of teams. So give them that credit, but they absolutely need Butler. I think they need Kriisa too, man. Like, it's wild when those, when neither one's on the floor, it's pretty tough for these guys. So, yeah, man. I mean, I still believe in their individual defensive talent. Owe, Amari Williams, they have really good length. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just not clicking. I want to hear from Peanut Butter Posse about, what's the deal on defense, man? It's been it's been pretty crazy. It's been one of the stories. Like, North Carolina's offense and Kentucky's defense have been like the two things that I'm trying to wrap my head around this season, and neither one of them have been there. So we'll see if the Wildcats can get it down as the old chat is on fire again, Jay.
Yeah, it definitely is. Our good friend Darren, that's always active with us on Twitter, saying what's up and asking, didn't the Gators make a loud statement on Saturday? Mike, speaking of loud statements.
Yeah, that was pretty loud.
Pretty loud indeed. And Ryan hopping in there letting us know you almost took down a GPP this weekend. Shouting out our content, dropping the fire emojis in there.
We'll be back with it.
Yeah, Ryan, awesome. Always good to hear that stuff. Make sure if you're hanging out with us and you do follow our DFS coverage. If you're not, first of all, you should be. Nobody does it like we do. Nobody breaks it down the way that we do and interacts with everybody in the live chat the way that we do. We love to hear from you. We love everybody that hangs out with us and watches. So make sure you push all those buttons so you don't miss a minute of what we're doing. We got Parker in there celebrating the Eagles. EAGLES, Eagles. Good stuff, Parker. Good to hear you. Good to hear from you, man. And Peanut Butter Posse saying, man, Pope is load managing. Are we taking a ride down load management narrative street here? Like, I mean, are we willing to do that? Let's not. Okay, let's see how this goes with
load
Butler
management.
back. Let's see how this goes with Butler back.
Yeah.
Darren asking who the best team in the Big 12 is. Let's talk about a team clawing their way back up the AP poll, which is Arizona. Took their licks early in the year, starting 4-5, but now they're 11-1 in the Big 12. Road win at BYU, weekend victory over Texas Tech, who's been playing great ball. Texas Tech has been playing excellent basketball.
Yeah,
and Arizona will
100%.
handle their business. Ken Palm's, we love Ken Palm's metrics on one and done. And does Ken Palm's metrics love Arizona for sure? The 10th ranked team according to Ken Palm. I sort of hinted at it earlier when we were talking about our friends at BracketBids. And, when I do fill out that paper bracket, am I going to fall for Arizona again for the third straight season? And honestly, like, the way that they've been playing lately the Big 12 isn't, let's not pretend like the Big 12 is the same Big 12, that quite the grind that it once was, right? But this is still a tough conference. And Arizona's found a way to go 11-1 so far. Doing a nice job. Are we going to fall for it again?
I mean, it depends on what you think Caleb Love is going to do.
Don't do that to
me. Look, I love the way the bigs are playing, man. Like Toby Awaka, I think he's playing fantastic. I think he's getting better and better every game. I like Carter Bryant's game, man. He's a really nice player. Kind of been balling out over the last couple of weeks. So, they defend without fouling. The metrics do love them, man. But what happens when the shots aren't falling offensively for Caleb Love, man? That's basically what it comes down to. Like, if he gets caught, they're going to go to the Final Four, right? If he's taking just terrible shots and he's such a streaky shooter. I don't know that we've seen too many players like him, that can go 2 for 18 in the next game, go 12 for 14 and just wreak havoc. It's one of those things, man. I can't be a believer right now because we have not seen it right over the last couple of years. And I mean, Jay, you picked them, right? So I mean, what are your thoughts, Caleb Love? I mean, I know they're the defensive backcourt, KJ Lewis and Jaden Bradley. I mean, pretty solid, and they've been really good on that end. But I worry about that offense, man, especially when you come into March.
You can throw out all the metrics, all the defensive stats, talk about the front court all you want. You and I both know that this team goes as Caleb Love goes. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know the other night he was like 2 for 16 and then hit the one from the logo at the buzzer, and like it is what it is. You get what you get from him. He will decide the fate of this team, and that's how it's been, and that's how it will be until he's not there anymore. Yeah. And if he goes 14 for 16, you're gonna win by 15 points.
Yeah.
If he goes 2 for 20, you're still gonna be in this game because of all the other things that this team does well. But he can also shoot you out of a game. Yeah. So, I mean, can we trust them? Trust it's a funny word, Mike. But should we feel – I mean, is this a team with a ceiling to win it all come March? Absolutely. And I think you got to take that into consideration when you're filling out your bracket or when you're over at BracketBids.com in your auction league and how much money am I going to bid on Arizona? Maybe nobody wants to. Maybe you get Arizona for a steal over there at BracketBids. Who knows? It's a team that I'm interested in for sure, buying stock in Arizona. Let's move on. Oh, man, that's all. That's the AP poll talk. Hey, one more thing, though. Hey, before we move on, some of these teams are playing well. Iowa State, I was on them, obviously. And then
the curse of Jay Heinrich.
We fall a little bit, but you see who's back now, right? The injuries are done. They're getting their guys back. What's his Momcilovic that was there. That 3-4, Mike, when he was not there. In 7 games, they went 3-4. They won their first game back with him. Yeah. He looked good, and they look like a different team when he's on the floor. So let's not judge Iowa State for that run in the middle of the season here. Let's see how they develop here. That's another team that you don't want to play Iowa State in March.
No,
you don't want to, for sure. All right, good stuff there. Thanks for everybody hopping in that live chat and keeping us busy. We thought this was going to be a quick in and out, and we're not even mad about it that the live chat's rolling and we're just chatting with y'all and hanging out. We love it. We love it. So keep the live chat flowing. Make sure you hit all those like and subscribe buttons, just like Ryan said to do in the live chat, slamming those likes and subscribe. That's right. Oh, yeah, got to hit the buttons, brother. Yeah. Everybody do it. Everybody do it. Mike, how about some peak performers here? Up to this point in the season, we know all the player of the year candidates: Cooper Flagg, Janai Broom. Those guys are off the charts. Braden Smith, maybe the best point guard in the country, pound for pound. Some people say anyway. What about some of the guys that are doing some special things out there that maybe aren't quite getting that same run? Whether it's keeping their team in contention. Maybe they're not at the tops of their conferences, but they're keeping their team in contention for a tournament bid, or maybe they're just playing their tail off, and one of those players that everybody's gonna all of a sudden, who is this guy? Why haven't I been seeing his stuff all March or all season, I should say? What about some peak performers, Mike?
Yeah, man. I'll go with Eric Dixon, man. I know this is a weird take because it's Villanova. They are not quite on the bubble. They're in position to jump on the bubble. But he's keeping them alive, man. He leads the country in scoring, just under 24 points per game. He went off the other night and did it all in the second half for them. kind of willing them to victory there. And like his stash, I mean, for his shot volume, top 20 shot volume in the country, he's slashing 47, 44, 86. So like for taking a ton of shots, man, this guy's just super effective. And where would Villanova be without him? And where would Kyle Neptune be without him? It's just absolutely scary thought here. So, I mean, if Nova's going to have any chance to make the tournament, Dixon's obviously got to continue to have an impressive year, rack up a few more quality wins in the Big East and win some games in the Big East tournament. PJ Haggerty from Memphis, man. He's taking his claim as a top transfer from last offseason. I believe we had him in our top 15. Not far behind Dixon scoring wise, 21.5, good for third in the country. His slash line for a guard is pretty crazy, 251, 43, 80. He's also racking up steals and assists to go with that scoring. He's just one of the toughest covers in the country and has Memphis atop of that old AACJ. Is there a player you want to spotlight here, man, that's probably not getting enough love since the NFL season has ended? We can let the people know who's out there getting it done.
Well, we love us some Mountain West ball, and we're going to head out there to the old Mountain West right now, Colorado State, to be precise, with our guy Nate Clifford. Look, if you're not paying attention, I know sometimes those games are on late. I get it. I understand. But now football's done. Even if you're a baseball guy like Mike and I are, like it's not. You don't have to pay spring training. There's nothing going on that's stopping you from staying up late and watching some Mountain West ball. And Nate Clifford is a guy that you should definitely watch. 17.4 points, almost 10 boards per game, and over 4 dimes as well. Every year, Mike, next step.
Yeah.
He's taking it. And those are the kind of ball players that you love to see, and the ones that peak at the right time like Clifford is right now. It's pretty impressive. What hasn't been affected, though, is sometimes when you see those players take those next steps on offense, their defensive game slips a little bit, which is understandable in some ways, except Clifford does not allow that to happen. It did not, take away from his defense while taking on that bigger role offensively. So, again, this is a guy keeping the Rams in the thick of the Mountain West race, sitting third right now. How many teams are going to get in out of the Mountain West, Mike?
It looks like it's only going to be 3, man. It looks like 3 this year. So, a couple of guys.
They're in there, but he's a big part of why they're up so high.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's battling it every night, man. So if you're watching some late night Mountain West basketball, you definitely got to check out Nate Clifford. A couple of the guys, obviously Chucky Hepburn from Louisville, just been the key cog to this turnaround for this Cardinal program. I mean, 15 points, 3 boards, 6 assists, 2.5 steals. He's an absolute floor general and a defensive menace. So he's just a great two-way player. I know he catches a lot of flack in previous years being in that Wisconsin system, but pretty much the ceiling for Louisville, it rests on his shoulders, and his play is going to determine what happens with that program. Walter Clayton, though, man, speaking of Auburn and Darren saying Janai Broom and the segment should be over. Well, we're trying to get some guys some love that, aren't up for National Player of the Year there, Darren. But yes, absolutely, he's a peak performer. But Walter Clayton, man, just an elite guard, man. Like, the talk about this offseason, it was like, what's happening with Florida? They're moving Clayton to the point guard position. Is that going to work out? Well, it's definitely worked out. They're a top 5 team in the country. He's averaging 17.5, 3.5 boards, 4 assists. That incredible performance at Auburn obviously stands out, but he's been super consistent throughout the year. So he's on track to be a household name by the end of the season. For, I know we got a lot of our OGs and everybody that follows us and follows the sport. But, to the casual fan, they might not know these guys. So, yeah, Eric Dixon, PJ Haggerty, Nate Clifford, Chucky Hepburn, Walter Clayton, man. Some people, if you haven't been following, to obviously check out as we round down the next 7 to 8 weeks.
Absolutely. Forklift Jeremy, speaking of OGs in the chat, Forklift Jeremy out there running late. The heater went on the fork. Oh, man.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Out there doing the big time important work. Hope you get warm quickly, Jeremy. Peanut Butter Posse, listen, we never mind talking about Kentucky. We know you love Kentucky, and we know a lot of people that watch our show love Kentucky. They got an impressive resume, man. There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of can they figure out a way to stop somebody? No, nobody. Yeah. I mean, I get it. they are a team that nobody wants to see in March. I totally agree with you, but like, stop somebody, please. Let's do it. All right. Yeah, and yeah, not Tar Heels, Jeremy.
Cadeau can't stop turning it over. Their
Not
two best
good.
players are on the bench. RJ Davis is not the same without Baycott. Yeah, it's just a mess.
Make sure everybody hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't. Hop in the live chat, of course, like Darren, Jeremy, Peanut Butter Posse, Ryan. Who else has been in there tonight? Everybody else that's done it. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you push all those buttons at One and Done CBB on all the socials. You know what it is. Your broskies in basketball bringing you the news and notes tonight, but we're also bringing the DFS heat for sure. Mike's going to go live before lock before a Tuesday slate, so make sure you turn on those bells so you don't miss any of that. And in about a week's time, maybe we're going to work on getting that return game with our guy Steve from RPS, right? I know he's gonna.
You're trying to work
Mike,
on that for like a midweek show together,
a
maybe a live for
little home and home exchange. Mike, you went over and visited Steve Boynton and Run Pure Sports a couple weeks ago, and they're going to come back and hang out with us too. Type of crossover stuff with Run Pure Sports and with BracketBids that we love to do. So make sure you're hitting all those buttons. That's important to us. So we can continue those partnerships and continue bringing you the best content possible. Speaking of the best content, everybody loves some good Bubble Watch content, right? Bubble Watch.
There it is. It's back.
Yes, sir. How about a little bit of Lunardi bracketology as of February 8th here? So, okay, if I would have just been patient, we could have looked and seen the number of teams from the Mountain West, because I'm going to repeat it right now. As of right now, the SEC would have 13 teams in, according to Joe Lunardi. The Big 10 would get 10. The Big 12 would get 8. ACC and the Big East with 4 apiece. The Mountain West with 3. And the WCC with 2, which makes perfect sense out there. Last 4 in, Mike. Nebraska, San Diego State, BYU, and Wake Forest. First 4 out. Arkansas. Really? First. That basically tells me that Arkansas was the first team out of this whole thing. All right. Yep. Xavier, SMU, and North Carolina, which is totally deserved, and I don't even think they should be that high up on this thing. VCU, Pittsburgh, UCF, and Arizona State, next 4 out. Okay. Bunch of teams there on the bubble watch. Where should we start? Oh, I mean, do we need to start with Arkansas right there, Mike? I mean, they've been playing. I thought they were going to turn a corner there.
Yeah, that was close, man.
What about the Razorbacks?
Yeah, I mean, look, 14-9, 3-7 in the SEC. You got all these quad 1 opportunities coming up. Just missed one the other night. Their net ranking, 43rd. Obviously gained some momentum. You know, you beat Kentucky to start the month. Sorry, Peanut Butter Posse. And then you beat Texas, but then lost by 4 to Bama the other night. So in the quad 1, they're 3-7. Quad 2, they're 1-2. No losses in quad 3 and 4. So keeping them alive. A winnable game midweek, right, against LSU, and then you got 2 huge road opportunities for them. You're going to A&M and then to Auburn. If they can get one of those 2, yeah, I mean, there's going to be an absolute war to get into that 12, 13 spot. They're probably going to be a bit stealer, so maybe the trickles back down to 12 as we get into early March, but still. It's seemingly everyone is alive in the SEC. So yeah, Arkansas, definitely a team to pay attention to. Obviously, we know North Carolina taking a hit. Xavier took a hit, losing to Villanova. VCU had a nice win there. And then, ASU's kind of Nate CC hustle out there. Arizona State, obviously, just injuries killing them. So, yeah, man, there's who do you want to touch on in this? This is a couple of days ago, so we'll probably get an update tomorrow. But, I mean, these are pretty close to what they are right now anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to focus on Pitt, and our friend Ty Nedick in the chat saying ACC should be a 1-2 bid conference. Look, Pitt's not necessarily helping their cause or their conference's cause. They've lost 3 straight to Wake, Virginia, and UNC respectively. Only 1 quad 1 victory and 7 losses there, and they do have a quad 3 loss on the resume as well. We got a huge game. This is a big one against SMU on Tuesday, Mike.
Yep.
And I don't think that I can. I'm not trying to. I don't want to downplay this in the least bit. This is a huge game for Pitt. They really can't afford to falter down the stretch.
There's not that many quad ones in the ACC. I mean, so
well, and I think that's the Ty's point right here. And I mean, basically, it's Louisville is going to be their only chance to really be, a higher ranked team that is left on their schedule. I don't know, man. One of these two, right? It's either SMU or Louisville, and then they can't get upset the rest of the way if they are going to get one of these. Again, is this which conference? I mean, I know we look at a conference like the SEC that has like 13 or whatever, and we say immediately that a team from there would get cut. But what's the likelihood of a conference like the ACC that might have like a 4? Or the Big East that has 4 right now.
Well, we didn't think Big East was going to get jobbed last year for 3 teams. So I don't think that ACC has too many teams to not get at least 4 in. I think 4 is the absolute minimum for them to get in. I think the SEC it's going to be tough when you got teams that are 3-7 in conference. I mean, it's just a bad look. Like, are you really going to cut out a team, that won, 75% of its games in the ACC? I don't think we can do that, but I don't know. Okay. We saw the Big East last year get absolutely disrespected. So could be one of those things, man. And we got the chat blowing up again, man. Some funny names in there, but Darren asking about bubble teams that would take a hit, one and done in the SEC tournament. That's kind of tough to say because you cannot tell where the SEC is going to be today compared to the last day of the regular season because there's so many quad one opportunities that next week, in 2 weeks, would it be shocking if Vanderbilt took a couple of those games, if Texas took a couple of those games? A couple of those teams fall back. I mean, it's going to be kind of crazy. So, Darren, that's going to be something we'll probably answer here in about 2 weeks. We'll have a clearer picture of like a one and done in the SEC tournament is going to be detrimental to somebody's because obviously the teams that are winning in that area you're playing those teams that are right there with you. So, them obviously getting quad one type victories. In there as well. We got somebody asking about 500 in the Big Ten or SEC gets you in these days. Yeah, I mean, kind of where it's at, but Arkansas's not even anywhere close to 500, so they need some help. But if you're going to get 18 or 13 out of 18 teams in, there's going to be a couple of teams where you could see are a little bit below 500, just based on who they played in the non-con and then how strong the SEC is this year.
That's 1989 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year, Dick Trickle, right there. Speaking to us from the beyond in the live chat. Excellent stuff there. I always love to hear from our commenters that are reaching out to us from beyond. It's that type of season right now where anything can happen. And I think we just proved that right now, right here on One and Done.
167-2. Yeah. Something like that. Close.
It was close to that. I'm pretty sure it's maybe plus or minus a couple there. If you Ryan, what's up, man? Good to see you in that live chat before we got out of here. Make sure everybody gets over to BracketBids.com or the BracketBids app. 40% off of your first league activation fees with the promo code BREAD. We're getting this bread over here with Green Screens Media. We told you all about it earlier in the show. We're telling you about it again. It's scrolling right across the screen there. And you know what, Mike? I was in such a hurry to get out of here and get to BracketBids. I didn't even think to ask you if there was one more bubble team you wanted to talk about.
I mean, what do we talk about? I talked about SEC, ACC. We can look at USC. It seems weird. Big Ten.
Let's go out west.
Yeah, man, we'll go
out west to the Big Ten.
Yeah, 5-7 in the Big Ten. Their net rating is 71st, so not great. And they've dropped 3 of the last 4. They lost to Northwestern and Purdue. They're 3-8 in the quad 1. They also have that quad 3 loss, so a very important homestand. They cannot lose to a Penn State or a Minnesota. Who they have coming up, because then they have road games at Maryland's going to be big, and Rutgers too. You can say, grabbing that road victory would really help too. So, some of these teams got to hold serve on some of these weaker opponents. You cannot afford to lose to one of these teams. And then, USC's kind of interesting. But man, you get to 500 in the Big Ten, you got to feel pretty good. So they got an opportunity this week to knock off Penn State and Minnesota and get them to 7-7. Before 2 tough road showdowns, man. So I love it, man. I absolutely love this time of year. We talk DFS, we talk, brackets. We got it all going on, man, right now. It's my favorite time of the year, obviously.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. That's right. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty, the madness of March, all the bracketology, all the whatever you want to call it, all the DFS dollars, getting that bread here on One and Done, dropping fire emojis in the chat because that's what we do. Yeah, Ryan, let's pour one out for our guy Dick Trickle. Pour one out for the homies. And you know who else I'll pour one out for is everybody that didn't hit the like and subscribe buttons today. If you hadn't already, I'll pour one out for you. I don't care. I'll do right there. Because you should do it. You should hit all those buttons. You should push that notification bell. You should get over to @OneAndDone CBB on all the socials that you possibly know, because even if we're not on it, just search for us anyway. @OneAndDone CBB, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram. What's the one I left one out there today? Twitter. Yeah. Elon's hellhole over there, which has been great. All the Kendrick Lamar and Drake content has been great. Montoya, por favor. It's still going strong. And now that the NFL is gone and all the conspiracies of referees, we can stop talking about it now. It's time to focus on college basketball, Mike. I'm pretty excited.
Man, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited. We have an 11-game DFS slate, so we'll be live before lock for that tomorrow. So check us out on there. And then, we're gonna be jumping on here a lot more often with these types of shows, DFS shows, man. It's just gonna be crazy around here. So we love when all you guys join us.
Keep pressing us like Peanut Butter Posse does. Yeah, USC failed to score 40, but hey, we all have our off nights, okay? Bubble watch. That's why they're on the bubble, my guy. Hey, everybody's not in the SEC, okay? We know that. We get it. And that's okay. We appreciate all of you for hopping in the live chat. It was on fire tonight, and we always appreciate that I'm not going to rub this in my guy's face. We're not going to. Do we need to do this? We don't got to. I mean, it's Drake, obviously, but we don't need to go into that right now. We don't have to do that. It's for my guy, Mike.
Dude, Drake's having a great rebound right now. So this is awesome. I'm all for it.
Okay. Whatever you say, my friend.
Well, it's not me. It's Twitter.
You know who else is having a great rebound? Our sub count, 1,323 subs. My God, get us to 1,325 before this show runs out of the cycle. Just go push some buttons. You know you got a cousin that you may or may not like anyway. Get on the YouTube app and push One and Done college basketball. Type it in. Hit those buttons for us. We love you. We appreciate you. Make sure you take care of yourself. Tell somebody you love them. That's Mike Holland at MC Holland 34,
Drake
the captain
fan.
of the One and Done ship. World's number one Drizzy Drake fan, my guy Mike. No matter what, we still hang out with you even with all of that, man. How about that? We're such great friends to you. We appreciate it. All right, I'm out of here too. Make sure you tell somebody that you love them. Push all those buttons. My name is JAYHEINRICH. Come again. Peace.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.